What's up, y'all? It's Andy. Today's Monday, June 1st. I just got off the water, so I figured I'd do a little fishing report for you guys. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, so I guess the main thing to report would be the water level. That was the first thing I noticed when I got to the ramp today. I pulled up and the water is about summer pool. I mean, it might be 8 inches or so, or maybe a foot from summer pool, but it's the fullest it's been all spring. If you live around here, if any of you guys that are local, you know that we've been in extreme drought here in the Chattanooga area, so all these lakes on the TVA have been down for a lot longer. Like usually they're up summer pool, I mean mid-April, late April, early May usually. So really it's just been in just the last few days now that they're really starting to get up into that summer pool level, so it's really good to see that. And then also, first thing I noticed, I got to put the boat in. There's shad spawning right there on the boat ramp there at Dayton, all down the bank through there in that little pocket where they keep the pontoon boats. So I was able to get out my little popper and catch two right there first thing in the morning before I even started up the motor. So that's always a good way to start your day. But I caught a couple in there on that popper first thing in the morning. That was on that Shimano World Pop. That's my favorite popper to throw. Thing's got a killer little foil in there that kind of shimmies around when you let it sit, or you can actually walk it really good like a walking bait. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. I'll throw this up shallow in the morning, then I just keep it tied on when I go out deep. If they come up schooling on them schools, I'll just walk that World Pop out there, and it does really good for me. But yeah, shad spawn going on in the morning. And then I went looking for some grass. Like I said, it's really the first time that water's starting to get up to summer pool all year. So the one thing that's really done for Chickamauga this year that I've noticed is the grass is growing really good this year in a lot of areas. For those of you that have been fishing Chick the last few years, you know the grass hasn't been doing very well. It's a lot of areas where it used to grow really good out there on the river and stuff. It hasn't for the past 4 or 5 years, but this year finally some of those areas where I haven't seen it in a while, it's starting to grow really good. Some of those backwaters where those flowers and stuff have been coming up on the bank all spring are finally starting to get some water on them. So I figured I'd start out in a couple of those backwaters up around Dayton first thing in the morning, throwing the frog. I was actually throwing this copper red baits wave frog, which I never did get bit doing that. So I ended up pulling out of the backwaters, and I went out onto the main lake more looking for some more main lake grass, which I actually did find a couple areas where it was growing really good out there on some more main river bars, like what you're looking for in that 7 to 8 foot range. And I saw grass growing up 5-6 foot, even touching the surface. So I was really happy to see that, and I actually did end up catching, I think, 2 or 3 keepers out of the grass. Wasn't on fire or nothing, but there were some fish in there. Overall, the bite was slow. I was fishing some areas I know I was on some fish, and they just weren't really doing it today. But what I was doing in the grass, just 2 simple baits. My go-tos pretty much all summer on those river bars and stuff in the grass. Chatterbait, Texas Rig Senko. These are both kind of that bruised green pumpkin color, that green pumpkin black blue. It's a 1/2 ounce jackhammer, and that's that 6-inch Senko. I like the little bit bigger Senko, and that's that 6/0 hybrid worm hook by Gamakatsu. That's a really good hook with just a little 1/8 ounce weight on there. I like to go real light on the weight, just kind of feather it through that grass. And I usually just start with the chatterbait. If they're not doing it on that, I'll go down to the Senko and slow down, see if I can pick off a couple, which that's exactly what worked for me today. And then about midday, probably about 11 or 12 is when I got out there, started messing around with those schools on the ledges. And they're out there. They're hard to catch right now. Like I said, we've been in extreme drought here in this area, so the lakes have been low, and there hasn't been any current moving on the river in months and months, which last night was the first time I finally saw TVA start moving some water through the system. I saw Watts Bar was pushing about 20K, and Chickamauga Dam was moving about 35K. So I was excited to get out there this morning, but typical, I get out there at about 6 or 7 a.m. and that's right when they cut those generators off and the river quit moving. So, but that's how it goes. It definitely made for a slower bite, which is how it's been. They've been out there for a month or so now, and I mean, you can get a school to fire. You might catch 1 or 2, 3 if you're lucky, but then you might as well move on and come back later because they just pretty much just shut down and scatter out. And a lot of the schools I was fishing today, they were real scattered out and just not set up right at all. So it was definitely tough out there. I think I caught maybe 1 or 2 keepers, which wasn't until it finally took at the end of the day. There's a little storm system moving in, so I was able to catch like 3 keepers before I started getting rained on. Like I said, it's been pretty tough out there on the ledges. Typically my main producers lately have been the minnow and the shaky head. I've been using that 5 1/4 freeloader that's on the 1/8 ounce queen tackle head. And then that's a Pro Mag there by Burtec in the June bug color. It's been doing really good for me lately. Usually offshore it's been doing well, but they weren't really doing it for me today on Chick. Those schools, they've been out there a while and people been fishing for them. You could just tell. So I think I caught maybe 1 or 2 on the minnow, and then I actually did catch 1 or 2. I hooked 1 and then lost 1 on the burrito. I was throwing around that 5-inch burrito by Buka. So I caught 1 pretty nice one. It was like a 3-pounder on that today, which is super fun bite. But as much as I hate to admit it, the main player for sure today on Chickamauga out offshore, even though I had way too light of a nail weight, I was having to wait forever for it to get down there, but it was that dang prickly pear by Hags, the urchin. It's using that's a quad hook by Decoy, and I've actually just been, I don't know if you can see it, but I've just been cutting little pieces of the plastic off of just the packages that they come in. Let me see if I got one here. But yeah, I've just been using the little piece of rubber there, whatever it is, silicone, rubber, plastic that comes in the packages over those little metal arms. I've just been snipping little bits of that off and using that as a, like I showed you, using that as my little bait keeper there. It's been working well. Caught a bunch of fish on that today. It's just, they wouldn't bite anything else out there. I would throw that dang urchin out there and wait forever, watch it on scope, sink all the way down, then they'd come up fighting over it. So absolutely crazy. I mean, everyone that ate it had it choked down to their gills too. It's just, you can't deny it. Those baits are definitely legit, shallow, deep, whatever you want to do with them. The bass just eat them. So yeah, the urchin definitely accumulated the majority of the weight in my bag today. Not ashamed to admit it, but did catch a couple fish, like I said, in the grass. It's looking really good out there on those river bars, a chatterbait and a Senko, and a big swim bait, and then that popper also. And I did see him come up schooling twice, very briefly today too, out there. Very briefly they came up through the popper over there, nothing happened. But it's starting to get right out there, guys. Like I said, it's been a slow year. That water's finally starting to get up there where it needs to be. It's getting up in that vegetation really good. You got shad spawn going on in the morning. Bluegill are still up on bed. Got schools out there where we're supposed to be. We just needed to keep on raining and keep some water rolling down the river. And it's definitely going to be a really fun year this year on Chickamauga, I think, with the way that grass is growing. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me and watching this video. I'm really not good at talking to this camera, doing this sort of thing, but I know it's valuable information for you people that want to plan trips and come down here and want to get a feel for how the lake's fishing and what baits to bring and stuff. So if you are planning a trip down here, definitely stop by the shop, come see us, say hey, grab some baits. We'll tell you what we've been catching them on, what's been happening. So if you like this video, give us a follow. If you got any feedback or suggestions, you can drop a comment down below. Or if you need some baits, as always, head over to realdealtackle.com.